Welcome to Dev.join. In today's video, we are going to learn about join method in Thread. So let's start. Join is a method used to pause the execution of the current thread until the thread on which join method was called as finished executing. The purpose of the join method is used to put the threads into the temporary waiting state. It's commonly used when you want one thread to wait for the complete execution of another thread before continuing. Suppose we want all the threads in temporary waiting state until one thread will complete its execution. After one thread completes its execution, then all the threads that are in temporary waiting state, they were again in running state. The main purpose of the join method. Let's see why we use the join method. So imagine you have multiple threads doing its different tasks. So suppose we have thread T1, thread T2 and thread T3. Then the task of T1 is to print the table of 2. Then the task of T2 is to print the table of 5. And the task of T3 is to print the table of 7. Suppose we have started all the threads, and after that we use T2.join method. Okay, like this we have written in the code. As T2 thread will start its execution, T1 and T3 thread will goes in temporary waiting state. They will not be executed. After the task completion of T2 thread, T1 and T3 will continue its task completion. Let's see practically how the join method works. So I will create a class, new then class, and in this we will write demo and the package name as com.thread method. So as you can see, I've created a class as demo. In that we will create a method. So public, then void run, and in this we will extend threads class because we are using the threads method. So join method comes in thread class, so we have to extend the thread. Extends thread. So it will print the name of the thread. Okay, so the task of the run method is used to print the name of the thread. So for that we can create a string and name, and in this we will write thread dot current thread and dot get name. So we will get the name of the current thread, okay, from this name variable. Now we will print the name. Okay, so for that we will write for int I is equal to 1 to I should less than 3, and I gets updated. And in this we will simply print name. So it will print the name of the thread. Okay, we will create another class. So for that we'll create a new, then we will give the name as demo2. So as you can see, I've created a class as demo2. Then in this we will create a main method. Let's create the threads. Okay, so demo d1 is equal to new demo. So we have created one thread. Then demo d2 is equal to new demo. So we have created second thread, and demo d3 is equal to new demo. So we have created 3 threads here. Okay. Now we'll give the name to the thread. So d1 dot set name. Okay. And in this we will give the name as thread1. Then similarly for d2 we'll give the name as thread2. Then d3 set name, and in this we will give thread3. Okay, so we have set the name, and from this run method we'll get the name from the current thread, and it will store in the name variable, and then we will run a loop and just we have printed the name. Okay, now we will start the thread. Now we will first start the d2 thread. So we'll write d2 dot start. To use the join method. So in we will write d2 dot join method. Okay. So this will throw an exception. Okay. That is called as interrupt exception. So we have interrupting the thread because this method is puts the all the threads into the temporary state, and that's why there is an exception. We can use throws as well as we can use try and catch block. So I will use here throws. Okay, so as you can see, throws interrupt exception. Now we can start the another 2 threads. Okay, so d1 dot start. Okay, and d3 dot start. Okay, so we can put this in the above only. Okay, let's run the code and see. Okay, what will be the output. As you can see, the thread 2, that is d2. Okay, so it has been executed completely. Okay, then again we will run the code. So as you can see, the t2 has been executed completely. Whenever it will be executed, it will run completely. So we don't know when the thread will execute it. Whenever it will be executed, it will execute completely. No other thread will interrupt that thread. So as you can see, the thread T2 has executes its task completely to print the name of the thread. So again we will run the thread. So as you can see, the T2 has been executes its task completely. No other thread will interrupt that T2 thread. So this is the example of the join method. Now let's see some important points related to the join method. So first, join method makes one thread wait for another thread. So obviously, suppose there are 2 threads. So if we use the join method for first thread, then first thread will execute its task completely, then the second thread will execute. So until the completion task of T1, that is thread 1, that thread 2, T2 will be waited. Okay, so obviously it makes one thread wait for another thread. Then next, it helps in maintaining execution order. So obviously it helps in maintaining the execution order. It is useful when working with multi-threaded programs where The order of execution matters. The join method is useful when we are working with multi-threaded programs where the order of execution matters. So this is all about the join method. So thank you for watching this video.